What is happening, everyone? It's go time. LFG. That's the acronym for let's go. Right? There's a word in the middle. I'll let you guess what it is. Welcome to the show. I'm Max. This is the RHMax show where we bring you Hexicans and Pulsicans and everyone in the community and interviews and solo streams that I just want to talk about stuff sometimes. How'd y'all like was it yesterday? I went live for the Hex stream. Yeah. Let me know if you like that in the chat too. I've clipped it. And there'll be some stuff coming out on that, but I think it's pretty well received. That was the first, my first, solo stream just talking about either Hex or PulseChain, and I just wanted to address the short stakes versus long stakes and the ethos of delayed gratification and the most healthy way to become wealthy. I'll say it like that. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that. Today we have Corey, an investor, on, and we're chatting backstage. Excellent musician. Just a great Hexican. Would love to have him in the community, just producing all kinds of cool. I love the artists in our community. I really do. The artists, the people who bring all the awesome stuff for one way or another. I mean, whether you're creating memes, whether you're creating music, whether you're creating, literature, art, like whatever it is, I love it. It really fills I don't know how to say it. It makes the passion. It amplifies everything around what we believe in and what we're here to do. So really love it. Shout out to everyone making stuff. Shout out to Markable who made my media package and made a lot of the stuff you see here. So anyways, I'll say hi to the chat and then we'll get into it with Corey. Red Squirrel, number one as usual. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. I know it's bedtime your time, so probably catch the replay as I've heard on the chat. This going live, Squirrel. It's going. We're running a couple. You know what? Just assume I'm going to be a few minutes late because I don't know. I think plus or minus 5 minutes, probably on the plus 5 minute side, is safe to assume for me these days. I just a lot going on, but I want to bring you these quality streams, so I go out of my way to be late for the last 10 streams, pretty much. Yeah, that's my explanation. Self compassion. Good to see you, man. Hope to see you for the birthday. Hopefully coming up for that. Another somewhat local Hexican in our community, relatively speaking. Let's share the link, everyone. What's up, Vets? We were just talking about you a second ago. Corey said he met you in Vegas. I was like, Vets, let me know if I met you in Vegas. Because I know, did I even meet you? Did I meet you in locally before I met you in Vegas? I don't know. Remind me if you're still in the chat. UFO, as usual. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you. Without further ado, Corey, an investor. Welcome to the show.
All right. What's going on, man?
How you doing? It looks like you're having a good time. Looks like you're on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, man. You see it, man? Out here at the beach of Jamaica, man. 7 Mile Beach. Yeah. Shout out Jamaica and the grill.
That's natural light on you right now. Definitely not artificial. That's true.
Yeah, right.
Pretty sure in Jamaica it is the sun is not out right now. I think I'm just
I think it's going down. I should put the night background up, man.
Yeah, excellent background. Excellent. It makes me. That's what I was telling you. I love watching Cabana and anyone who has beach. I don't know if maybe I'll throw a beach one up sometime. I might as well. I went through a whole bunch of different backgrounds, but I rotate too. But it's just peaceful. It's nice. You can't really go wrong with a beach background. So I like it.
Man. Definitely, man.
Cool. Well, I don't know. I gave you a little bit of introduction, but like where, for people who don't know much about you, haven't heard your music, haven't seen what you've been doing in the community, can you just give us an introduction of how'd you get into crypto? How'd you find Richard Hart products? How'd you get into this beautiful mess that we're in now?
Got you. Well, I got into crypto early 2017, maybe late 2016. Listening to my kids tell me about their friends getting in Dogecoin and all this stuff, and so it put me on my journey for looking into crypto. The first crypto I got into was BitConnect, looking at all these other, cryptos outside of, Bitcoin and Ethereum, which I thought was the 1 and 2, and just tried different cryptocurrencies along that whole path after finding out what BitConnect was, really taking a deep dive into really understanding what crypto was, because I thought it was something that it wasn't. And during my search of watching people, came across RH and saw his self-help videos and just basically got with him and saw how he had his presentation on Bitcoin and then how he evolved into Ethereum and then wanted to create his own coin. And basically knowing that he was a person that had his own business, and me being a business person myself, I was in the real estate, had 2 businesses at the time as well, and just liked his mannerism and liked what he had to present. And so when he came up with HEX, I just jumped in it, and again, not knowing exactly what crypto was, being a little precautious, didn't go full jump straight in, but slowly but surely, progressively got in after the first, I guess, 3 weeks, and then just followed the process, man. Followed the whole journey. Followed the people who were creating content. Starting with Hexologists and Discord Syndicate, and just again, the guys that really were watching it, that I was watching at the time, was Craig Grant and Trevon James, and guys like that actually were in the space already, that had some tenure. And it just took some time watching RH going on different programs and actually explaining what crypto was against people who were in the space that were also tenured individuals, but didn't have the insight that RH had. So that kind of like drew me more to him and his products, his ecosystem. And yeah, man, from there went to PulseChain, and PulseChain went to PulseX, and going to the first year anniversary, or the 2-year anniversary of HEX, and now going to the 3rd year anniversary coming up this week. Just supporting a lot of people that are in the space, influencers, content creators, and just trying to create a system within this space of crypto.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's been so many people come from BitConnect, and come from just like a lot of other things that either turned out to be wildly unsuccessful, or it just turned out to be this is not really my scene, and then they come to find Richard in one way or another. They see what HEX is about, and they're like, oh, this is what I was looking for. This is like the place I want to be. And I always love those stories. It's good. I'm glad there are people from other ecosystems that are not finding what they need, and they come here and they find it. They thrive. They start producing all kinds of stuff with the community, and that's a success story on its own. Forget about price performance. Like finding something that you're looking for. That's something.
Man, there you go. That's it right there. Because a lot of people, they're out there looking for stuff, but some of us are being persuaded by narratives and what's being spoken about, but not what's actually happening in the space. And some people get blinded by the narratives and not what's actually going on. So, everybody has to, get their lumps and learn the hard way sometimes, in order to actually come around and say, all right, after you've been through certain things, understand what's really going on, and just try to, associate yourself with that narrative or things that fit that narrative, of your understanding.
Right.
Just go forward, man. That's how you're gonna succeed.
So you were doing, you mentioned real estate for a minute too. What kind of investing were you doing before crypto and before HEX? Was it just real estate, or are you doing other things now, or is it where do you have where are your eggs at?
Well, I started off. I worked a 9 to 5. I was with the phone company for about 20 years, and that actually gave me the income to actually invest in the other things. So what I was doing is just trying to save as much money as I could and invest in the other things. Bought my first property in 2009. I learned a lot with that, as far as with just tenants and property management and things of that nature. And so it was a crash course. No one told me how things should work, 100%. So it was a lot of it learning by myself with a friend of mine, and going through that whole process. And then my wife, at some point in time in 2000, I think it was 16, she bought a coffee shop in downtown area where we live. And I was working with that narrative. So we're trying to learn a business model of how, stores work, storefronts and things of that nature. Later on, came to buy a laundromat, which we've had for about 3 years now. And I've just been trying to invest into other assets and other businesses that can actually just help. And these are basically just stepping stones where I'm learning a lot of information of how these things are supposed to go, forward, and just honing my skills and just trying to, make it better the next time I want to get into that space, basically.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, there's all kinds of places to put your money, and we're seeing in this bear market where a lot of it's going, and where a lot of it's leaving to. And,
okay.
We're seeing. I think it'll come back. I think, crypto. I think it's going to come back stronger than ever. It's just like right now, it's just that period. You just got to get punched in the face about 50 times, and then you're just sitting there, and you're like, am I gonna sell it all, or am I gonna stay in? And then you figure stuff out.
And a lot of that is like reminiscent of what happened before with the splitting of Bitcoin to Bitcoin SV and that whole debacle. Like, you don't know what's going on in these markets, but when the bear market comes, you see a lot of things that aren't what they say they are on face value, and you see them collapse. So you see them not paying out. And those are the things that need to come out during the bear market anyway. Usually in the bear market, people are building new products and building new things that will gain traction. So when the market picks up, that market can go up as well with it. But a lot of people, I guess the thing is with crypto is if you get in the bear market, when it starts going up, it's hard to divest out. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people have a large investment within the space, so it's hard to get out within a year, because that's the kind of time frame we have during the bear run. I mean, the bull cycle, should I say? So if you really get in the market in the bear cycle, you must think about 5-6 years later, because you have to go through 2 cycles in order to really generate that, jump, that leap you guys want to get to. Because if you get in early and you get out, it's hard to get out a majority of assets out when we're at the top. You just think we're going to keep going. So it's kind of hard with that mentality. But I think that's the mentality I have for the next cycle, just to wait as the market goes up, DCA out a little bit, and just enough for the next 4 or 5 years to do the same thing again.
Absolutely. I think it's really hard for folks who, have, this is either their first crypto cycle in general. Maybe they came in the bull probably, and now it's their bear, and it's, dim fields are going everywhere. Yeah. But if you've been here for a few years and you've seen a couple cycles already, I was lucky enough to come into crypto around 2016. So it was like, we're kind of, I guess that was a sideways period at least, or right before the silent before the storm.
Yes, yeah.
And then 2017, everything just you could throw peanuts at a llama and it'll crap gold. Like it was just amazing. And that's when all the ICO phase and stuff. So you learn, it's this thing that you could tell people, you can teach a class, you can have all this educational material, but if they don't get it reinforced by like on the ground experience, then it just doesn't stick. So you gotta go through it.
It's all theory, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People just don't know what it is until you see it. And then again, once you see it, the emotions take over. So now you're not thinking logically. So you're just going with the highs. Oh yeah, we're doing. Not thinking of taking anything out, because you just want to see it still grow. Yeah. And then it goes down below than what you got in that. Now it's the sense of desperation, which that plays on you too. And it's longer down than it is up more than likely. You know what I'm saying, for most people.
Yeah.
So that's
you try to hope it just keeps going, and you're like, nope, it's go. I remember at the how my feelings were, and I was in total denial. And after 2017 bear market, it was just like, no, it's buy the dip. It was just the whole thing was buy the dip for the first few months, and I'm like, the dip doesn't seem to be dipping. It seems to be somewhat permanent right now.
Yeah, right.
It was rough.
And then you get the influx of people telling you, I told you it wasn't going to be, what it was supposed to be. And then, you got to fend that off, as well as your pride of knowing what you invested in and saying, listen, I know it works because I've been in it. I've seen stories, but you got to know the exact thing to get in, the right type of things. And some of them, again, we don't know. All of them aren't out on the table at the moment. Some of them are being created today, and we'll see them maybe tomorrow, the next few months. So it's all about just keeping your eyes up and looking for the next thing as well.
That's a great point. This past year we've had, Hedron, we've had a lot of price positive feedback loop coins and instruments and platforms just launch in the last 6 to 8 months. And this is 2022. Imagine 2020. Can you even imagine what the Maximus guys, for example, are going to come out with in 2023? Like you think they're going to stop building? Like
exactly.
Like we don't even know what kind of products are going to be out.
And that's the thing. Yeah. As long as they don't stop building and they keep creating things that are interesting to the communities, I mean, I think that'll work. That'll help bring attraction for those who may not be in the space, that may see something that's not HEX or something that conforms to what their idea of what crypto is. And it may be in this whole ecosystem, which I'm hoping it is. And people just come in and see what's powering it, see the community behind it, and then just go from there, see if they can contribute as far as helping spread the word or just get people interested in the space, what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Well, why do you think the biggest reason people do come into HEX? Is it the passive income? Is it just price go up, I need to get in, and now maybe I'm here or not? Like, what do you think really draws people into the ecosystem?
I think it's a majority of things, a litany of different things, because I think people get in the space to, of course, invest for one thing. They hear it's an investment, a new investment asset vehicle. So I think that's one thing. I think other things are that people understand the price point of Bitcoin, that it appreciated almost 6 million%. I think that's, for any investor, I think that's just, insightful. Now, people will say, they're too late for Bitcoin, too late for Ethereum. and they invest in all these smaller new coins. And I think that is a way to go about it. Invest into a different bunch of cryptocurrencies, and hopefully something pans out for you. But I think just that whole insight of fast money is for most people. It doesn't turn out that way for most people, because those things that I guess they say they're going to give you, a certain amount of percentage or a certain amount of money, over a course of time. I think a lot of those things are not profitable. They're not going to be here for the long term.
Not trustless either.
And not trustless. Yeah. And that's what I tell people too as well. Like, a lot of things that are out here now, a lot of cryptocurrencies that are out here now, to me, are like startups, because they're taking money in now for a product that's not here yet. They're here to produce that product with the funds that they've raised. So that's not true crypto. Anything that is operating that way is not true crypto. So again, like what Richard Hart produced, which was a product that was complete when on launch, I think that kind of goes to that narrative of a completed product, no keys, trustless, has been audited. I think those are some of the things that we need to actually focus on and look for those things to actually try to look and verify whether they work, they do what they say they're going to do, no matter what they are, what portion of the world it works in, and start gravitating towards those things. I think so.
That's one big thing I think is so different from 2017 is the ICOs. Yeah, you would. I almost said sacrifice. You would. What is the regular word? I don't even know what the regular word is. You would participate. You would send money to the ICO, however that was. Send it to the address or do some contract or however it worked. And then they'll be like, okay, cool, you funded us. And then sometimes it will take months or years, even later, to even, you're like, update steps, please.
There you go.
It's just like, it was just so crazy and those were the ICOs, and those, it's just thinking back along those times and thinking about how different it is now, just within our ecosystem of the expectations. And there's SAC phases and stuff, which are somewhat analogous to the ICO stuff, but at least we get stuff on testnet with a lot of products. Some of them, they want to show all their cards. There's different reasons for this and that, but there's airdrops. There's all these things that it just seems like a much more, not everything goes well in our ecosystem either, but it seems like a much more trustworthy, because a lot of things are just, hey, we're here to help HEX. We're here to help the blue chips. We want to make products that make this ecosystem greater. And that's what feels better about this time.
Yeah. And at the same time, a lot of these things aren't scams. Some of them are just badly coded, products, you know what I'm saying? And they just don't work as they're supposed to work. So that's some things. Some things they do have backdoors. Some things they do have keys. Again, those things you got to stay away from, because they're not trustless. They're not, that everything that's supposed to be on the blockchain is supposed to be on the blockchain and work within the blockchain. These central exchanges that just went down, when you can't see the trades, and like, I never really got that. I never said, if you can't see the trades, how do you know what's working? And from my perspective, but
definitely.
A lot of people,
it's crazy to think about centralized exchanges. You can't see the trades going on. We're so lucky to have Uniswap and be an ecosystem where you can look. Oh, you want to see what happened? You want to see who swapped for who? Just go look on the blockchain. Go to the Ether scales right there.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't see what's wrong with that. I see that people that provide liquidity should be paid or get some of the fees from people who trade on those exchanges, and I think that's a fair deal right there. But when you are the exchange and you're just picking from everyone, and they don't see how you're winning, how you're losing, you always come up with a profit at the end of the year. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? You can't win all the time. It's just like it can't be a casino. Casino always wins. You can't be that all the time.
Once people get it, maybe their days will be numbered. Or I don't know. I feel like Binance is going to be around no matter what. That dude's got enough money to like buy a planet. He's
right.
I don't think Binance is going away, but maybe most of the other ones will go away in favor of DeFi and DEXs or they'll find some way to make money off of that aspect. I mean, it's
and get in it. Like anything else, I think that people want to control the narrative, and I think that's where we're at right now, where they're trying to, I guess, talk about DeFi and say that's not a greater product as it should be, because if things go on and you can't recoup funds, but by investing in centralized exchanges, you can lose all your funds again. With it seems right now, with no recourse, and until we find out what's going on with this thing, I think we should hold off on what we should do with centralized exchanges at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So
It definitely seems like December is going to be a fun-filled month of lots of senators asking lots of questions, or if they get SBA, I mean, I don't know somebody's going to Dubai. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, listen, BlockFi just filed Chapter 11. Like we
That's right.
still going down, guys. It doesn't look like we're
That's
going
true.
up anytime soon. We gotta wait for this thing to pan out a little bit, you know.
BlockFi. I remember I used to watch the Best Business Show with Pomp all the time, and constant BlockFi in the corner of the screen. And I was always like, oh yeah, I mean, when people put their brand behind it, it really gets people to believe in it like that. And it's crazy to hear. I never would have thought 6 months ago I would hear BlockFi going down. Like, what? They seem, they have that brand.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the same thing I felt about HEX. Like there was other cryptos I was in prior to HEX, and I started recording my crypto journey on Steam at first. Then I went from Steam to /Library Odyssey, and then I came to YouTube. And it's like during the whole transition of watching how things progressed, and I'm documenting on these things, saying this is that. And I found out not to tag my name to anything from Trayvon and Craig and the guys that were with BitConnect, because I'm like, those guys weren't the creators of BitConnect. They just promoted it. And just by promotion alone, their affiliation was like they basically created it. So I wanted to make sure whatever I was a part of, to me, from my viewpoint as a cryptocurrency, was exactly what I thought it was, inside and out, see the proven results, and just make sure that it didn't do anything that, like scam out or like anything else that I've been in before. And so it took some time early, but after the OA period was done, we finished that. I was kind of like driven in, like I recorded my whole process, but at that point I was like, okay, this is nice. Let me see what I can contribute to this space. And music was one of the things that I, came in, that I'm, again, not a musician by trade. I was a telephone man for 20 plus years, but I thought that I liked music. There wasn't a lot of people talking about music and crypto. In 2017, there was one or two guys, but not as of recent. And then Freddie Quotes helped me, get into the space. So
okay, yeah. Shout out to Freddie Quotes for that. That's I didn't know that was for your backstory. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was a hit right there, man.
Well, so when you started doing music, and I'll throw I had your link here. I'll throw it in the chat.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. When you started doing music, were you doing music before, and then you just kind of, I mean, you mentioned that maybe you're not professional or whatever, but like, were you just messing around and said, oh, crypto, here's a cool niche, maybe I'll start doing songs for it? Like, how did that work?
No, well, I just heard it. Well, like I said, Freddie Quotes had the first song that I heard about HEX, and I was like, I liked his version of the music, but it was more like a rock style. So I said I want to make a rap style of music. So I just started doing rap, which was, I made like 2 or 3 songs early, and those were the first ones. And then people kind of were moved by them. They liked the music. So I just started creating more of that. So yeah, that was a hit right there. Yeah, I got a SoundCloud, which actually, I got a few songs on there, but that drove me to actually make NFTs, which I'm making now. I got about 3 of them, which I am.
Saw that.
Unique covers. Yeah. And just trying to, again, still spread the word, stay within the crypto space, and just try to, expand my space of where I'm at within crypto a little bit.
I like it, man. Yeah, I like the image to the 10-year stake, 15-year stake. This is one I haven't seen before. It's actually
that's an old one. That's an old footage. I think I'm not sure if who's my guy, HEXMax. I think he may have had that one. I'm not 100% sure, but I use a lot of his pictures that he puts up, and that was
HEXMax.
Old, yeah, HEXMax.
Is there a HEXMax?
HEXMac, MAC.
Oh, Mac. I was like,
from Australia.
RHMax.
Yeah.
Is there a HEXMax?
HEXMac. Yeah. That's my guy right there, man.
I was like, I got to meet them. Another Maxia, some sort, I imagine.
Yeah, right.
Nice, dude. Yeah, I was scrolling through this today. I was listening to Economical Slang. Very good. Very good. Appreciate that.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say too. Was so I was I met you in Vegas because after you were on stage, Freddie Quotes came down. I was like, oh, there's the guy that was on stage. I didn't know your name at the point.
Okay.
Actually, I don't even remember your name from Vegas, to be honest. I didn't even remember your name. And I was trying to look you up. I was like, man, who is that guy? And I was like, PulseChain stuff. And I was like, Freddie Quotes, maybe they have like some stuff together. So it took me a while to like figure out, oh, that's Korean Investor. I've heard of Korean Investor, but I didn't know that was you.
Got you.
I didn't remember. So,
Yeah,
so
I gotta work on marketing, man. I'm working on that now, man. I'm trying to get out there more often, man, now.
yeah, no worries. I was just like, man, I gotta find this guy because I want to listen to his music and stuff, and just having that conversation with you, I was like, oh wow, like it really saw me as getting back into music because I did a little bit before, not much, but especially with crypto, I was like, man, I feel like I wanted to get into music more. I want to do some more vocals and lyrics, and that's what I told you. One of the things I told you is, man, I love your lyrics. Like I listened to, and that's something that's like true to me. Like I love people who write good lyrics. Like really, they really mean something. They're not just like these throwaway. Oh, I'm gonna make a beat and I'm just gonna like say a bunch of words. You're like, no, there's a message in this. So
man.
I always appreciate that, and so that was the first thing that inspired me. And I came back and I had Scott Foster Harris interview, and then he sung on the interview. He did a song with the guitar on the interview, and I was like, man.
Yeah, man.
And I remember messaging him afterwards, like, hey, do you know anybody who makes beats? I'm really getting like interested back into making some music. And he referred me to Sound Better, I think soundbetter.com, where it's kind of like Fiverr for beats and producing and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I was able to first time ever, produce a song remotely where I literally, it was hard. I was like, man, first of all, you got to have somebody who's willing to like go back and forth with you a lot. It's not just, it's like a time commitment.
It's a process. Exactly.
Yeah. And for, within your budget and all that stuff too. And so how it happened was I wrote the lyrics. I had those pretty much ready to go at the time. And I was like, hey, I want to do a beat. I finally found a guy. And then, I narrowed it down. This guy seemed really nice, had really good reviews. I said, hey, I got a beat. How can we do this? I've never, recorded remote. I've never had it produced remotely. And, I'm usually in a studio or something like that. And he's like, yeah, just, we went back and forth 10 times on the beat. I finally got it down. He gave it to me and he's like, yeah, just record the vocals on that. I'm like, okay. Right. So I recorded the vocals on my Mac. Yeah, not just using the microphone I'm using now, nothing fancy. Yeah. And then I sent it to him, and of course we're using different programs, but we're both using Mac. So he was using GarageBand, I was using GarageBand, he was using whatever the program is there, I forget. And then we went back and forth, and the dude literally produced it and mastered it from me sending him files of me re-recording stuff back and forth, 5 to 6 different times. Gotcha. It was just amazing to me. Like, first of all, he had enough patience, to do it like that. And second, that we could actually just keep, send each other stuff back and forth, and he could master it remotely. It was incredible. And then we came up with a finished product. And then
nice, man. It was nice.
That was fun. This is about you. I just wanted to throw it out there. Like the recording process for remote producing is very interesting. So I want to explain that. And I'll drop mine in the chat too, just in case people haven't seen it. But I guess I'm leading up to, I respect musicians so much, whether they're doing it remotely or whether they're in the studio. It takes so much time and energy. Oh my God, I didn't nail that take. Let me do it 10 times. I just not feeling it. Oh, we got to change the beat. It's crazy. It's so much work. So how do you do it, man? How you ever get just frustrated? You ever just put music down for a while and just be like, no, I don't want to do it right now? And do you come back, or how do you deal with it?
Yeah, it's a moment thing. Like when the market is doing a certain thing, if I'm inspired to look for a beat, and then I just start writing something. Sometimes if I'll make a song after a month or two, I'll just, all right, let me just make 1 or 2 real quick. See if someone wants to make some. A friend of mine asked to get on a song I made. I just put that out recently. That was cool. Like a guy from another community, more with Trayvon James. He made a song with this guy Sprove. Shout out to him. And yeah, it's just about just listening to music, being inspired to have something to talk about. Because right now we're in the bear market. So I guess it was 3 weeks ago, a month ago, I put a song out called Diamond Hands. So it's like, depending on what the market's doing, I'm trying to like correlate it. So when things happen, people can look back and say, oh, this time he was making this type of music. When we were going up, he was making this type of music. So you can kind of, assimilate the times with the music. Just like music is today, it kind of reflects the times a little bit. So that's what
I like that. I like the, it's because, the famous quote is, inspiration is perishable. And that's so true in music. It's like, if you're not feeling it, you're just, like I wasn't feeling it for a couple of years. And I was like, you know what? Exactly. I'm around people who are musical. I get to talk to them. I get to see them on stage. I get to hear them, and they're doing all these things. Hey, why can't I get back into it? Let me go make something. And but that inspiration it's amazing.
Yeah, you need that, man. You need that to help motivate you and move you. so you can actually do a good job at what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do
Yeah,
it
where
half.
it doesn't feel like work either. It feels like,
That's
oh, I'm
true.
doing this because I like to do it.
Exactly. That's a fact. That is a fact.
Just throwing my big pump metal in the chat too, if anyone's interested. Seeing that was shout out to Markable, who so afterwards, after I did the mastered the song, then I was like, oh, I really I want to get some kind of music video or a lyrical video or something like that.
Yeah.
And I specifically wanted to hire or get a Hexagon to do it because I don't want to go, okay, I could get on Fiverr or whatever, I could find somebody to do it, but I want to support the local community. I want to support this community. So I was like, Markable, he's my guy. He did, my media package. He did the background everyone's looking at. He did my intro, my new intro, outro, everything like that.
Okay,
like, Markable, I got a song for you. I know you probably don't usually do music videos, but like, can you come up with something with this? And he did. And I was very happy with it. So
shout out to Markable too, man. He's a good guy, man.
I like working with him. Very good guy.
Cool.
And chat too, by the way, if you get any questions, just throw them in there. I think I saw one or two. I'll scroll up here in a second because I really have been reading it. Actually, let's see. Diffiness said something. Being able to mint more coins. Yeah, man. I mean, I think he was just talking about what you were talking about earlier on the just the model, just how HEX works. It's attracted so many people because again, it's what they've been looking for. It's if you come from a community who doesn't follow these principles and you come to this one. And you really it has to speak to you, first of all. If it doesn't speak to you, you're going to, wave it away. You're going to go on. But if it does, I mean, that feeling of that aha moment is what, man, it's something else.
Exactly. And it's a little bit of crypto and a little bit of finance. If you're not good with finance, it's not going to make some sense to you in crypto. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand that financial aspect and how that works first. Because when I got into it, again, talking about like stocks and things of that nature, there's a percentage, you can earn. There's a dividend that can be earned. But if you don't understand that terminology, it's going to be kind of hard to understand some crypto terminology, you know what I'm saying, of how funds and gains are made, you know what I'm saying, and how to actually DCA out, DCA in, those terms have to make sense to you. And of course, having a portion of your holdings or your earnings of what you want to sell off and hold. Like if you don't have some of these concepts together, it's going to be kind of hard to navigate your structure, your plan to get in and out the market and, make it more viable for you and your journey, basically. So,
yeah, it's the people come into crypto and our community in general from so many different backgrounds, some with finance background, some, mostly without, I would imagine.
Yes.
And for myself, engineering type background, security, I try to bring that too. I try to do security AMAs to try to provide some utilities to the community on that side as well. But what do you think is the hardest? I guess what is the easiest transition you could think of? Is it from like coming into community? Is it coming from finance? Or do you think finance also kind of gives you these mental blocks where you're like I imagine a lot of people that come from traditional finance or bankers, whatever. They hear 10,000X and they're like, whoa, no, scam immediately. No, don't want nothing to do with that. Like they can't even rationalize around it. But then you have so many people that come in and they're like, yeah, that's the code is code. Why not? Let me read more about it. What do you think people struggle with the most, and what background kind of suits this community? You think?
I think the mindset of people that suit this community best are people who are optimists. People who have they can see the value in it, and they're easy learners. They can learn, easy. They still are learners. Let's say that. Like they don't just say things are what they are, because of people who are in traditional finance, like you said, they're gonna look at the cryptocurrency market and they're gonna say it's not sustainable due to the gains. But it depends on what type of cryptos they're looking at and what part of the market, what time of the market people are in. So it's a different factors that actually go to that. But I mean, they traditionally wise, they're correct. But if you have your mind open to different things, to new technology, again, I said this before, that I don't think the crypto really is here for traditional finance, because this is what crypto is trying to steer away from. So it's really not going to make sense to that community from my perspective. But in another 20 years, the kids that are 10 years old, they'll be 30. Those will be the ones it speaks to, you know what I'm saying? Because they're doing the majority of things online now. So this is not for us, really. We are at the forefront of it. And like I said, in 20 years, it'll be commonplace, like swiping a credit card over your cash register, and just it's just going to be the same thing, but it's just going to be looked at differently due to the changing of what's going on. You show kids a cassette player right now, and they look at it like, what's that? Compared to a phone that plays everything from around the world that someone just put out yesterday. So it's a different mindset. It's a different way of looking at things. And it's just a matter of time before it becomes normalized to the masses of people, which is where the gains are really going to be at its peak. You know what I'm saying? Especially starting now anyway.
I got to find my portable CD player.
Okay.
You got me thinking about the old technology now. I'm like, yeah, that I used to have that on the bus every day. That was some good stuff.
There you go.
I mean, the tape player too, to a certain extent, but I think for my time too, it was the portable CD player. And if you had it in your car, if you didn't have a CD player, you either had the tape deck, but if you hit a bump, you got to make sure, it doesn't skip, because unless you got that anti-skip protection.
There you go. And then we got the upgrade with the removable face. Remember that? So it was upgrade after upgrade after upgrade. Before we had the TV things we used to put in the back of the headrest. Then they started putting things on the back, and now we got.
Those are still cool. Those are still cool.
Know, right?
If I go into some kind of SUV or whatever that has a built-in TV headrest, I'm like,
okay,
that's luxury, man. I like that.
Yeah, right.
Maybe LED ones. Maybe there's nicer ones.
That's the new wave. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Got a question from UFO here. Corey, are you more Pulse or PulseX Maxi? I guess which one do you prefer?
Man, me personally, I like PulseChain because it's a platform that you can build multiple applications on top of. Unlike PulseX, it's just going to be an exchange where you can provide liquidity and do exchanges and all of that. But I think the PulseChain has more of a longevity type of thing. As long as it still works and people build on it, I think it has a place that'll be much more lucrative. It's kind of like, again, like comparing like BNB Binance chain to a BNB coin. Was it like to Uniswap?
Yeah.
I would get Binance coin before I got Uniswap coin. No, not saying that there's no value in Uniswap, but I see the bigger picture with Binance.
I guess that is an interesting way to look at PulseX. Is like, Uni did great. It didn't do 10,000X or anything, but it was that sort of DEX, that application type coin. But then you look at BNB. I remember when BNB was like, when it launched, it was like, and then it seemed like it took nothing to go to like $9. And you're like, oh, now it's $20. Oh, $20 BNB. That's crazy. And now it's like it's like $300 in a bear market or something. I don't know. Something like that.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And we forked ETH 2.0 instead of BSC. So what do you think about the changes? It's almost old news at this point. It was like 3 weeks old or something. It's almost old news, right? but back then it was really a lot of controversy. What was your take now? Now that the dust has settled, I mean, do we just trust Richard? Is he 3 steps ahead of everyone? Like, do we? What do you think about the changes?
Yeah, I think. I mean, he's said a thing or two on previous live streams. I think he has a roadmap. He just hasn't, presented it to everyone. And I think it's just a matter of just rolling, PulseChain and PulseX out first before it can get on the next talking point, see how that works, and then bring those other things up after the fact. Because, like I said, right now, a lot of people are upset. A lot of people invested over the last 6 months, year, and they're not feeling too good right now. And again, like Richard Hart said, he said, for the world's best performing asset, man, it's gonna be some pain here and again, man. We just don't go up. You know what I'm saying? So
high volatility goes both ways.
Okay, that's a fact. So the whole thing is, can you hold on, and do you believe in the project? That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Because like he said, communities help keep these things alive. And if you're not in the community, you're not talking about it, and you're just going about your day, then people are gonna forget you. But the thing is, if you stay strong through these type of markets, it looks so much better on the other side. You know what I'm saying? You can say that you were here when it was not at its best point. And then you can tell about the stories of people telling stories about how they hated on it, how they came in and took communities to try to separate communities or infighting. All of that stuff is going to be of yesteryear when we start going up. No one's going to focus on, talking bad about people, because the people that'll be here will be the people that are left of the true believers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of just waiting it out and just seeing what's going on. Like some people ask me, they say, hey, Corey, HEX the best thing, compared to Ethereum and Bitcoin and other cryptos. And I say, listen, man, I don't know. But what I do know is that time is the ultimate truth teller. And so in another 5 years, 2026, 2027, we'll see. Let's see. I mean, I'm hedging the majority of my bets in HEX, Ethereum, and PulseChain, PulseX. That's where right now, that's where I'm at. I do mess with Zen a little bit, but listen, I don't promote those things. It's just that the one I promoted the most is HEX, that got me to where I am, and things that I like, but I don't really put my name behind things that I really don't see longevity in, and don't believe in the people that are creating the things. So I'm just trying to stay in my lane, create content and create music for things I like and things that are in my space during my journey. And as long as it adheres to the principles that I know, then, hey, man, I got no problem with it. Because, again, if it goes bad, listen, it could be community-wise. It could be bad code. There could be a litany of things. But at the same time, like I said, at the end of the day, time is going to be the one that tells us who did what, who was where, and, who's successful on the other end. So
I will acknowledge, we've been beaten down in this bear market. The thing that really gives people hope is green candles, and there have been a shortage of green candles lately for HEX, and I mean, not just HEX particular, but
exactly, that's the thing. Not just for HEX though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but
everyone's feeling it right now.
Just that, the SEC stuff. It's kind of like the shadow now. It's PulseChain hasn't launched. I mean, I'm trying to think what else could
go wrong, right?
Not even wrong. It's like what else could be that kind of like dampening of the spirit, like that kind of thing that really pushes to get to the bottom, because that's where I want to go. I want to go to the bottom, because I know once we go to the bottom, you can't go any farther. And then we go up, right?
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Like block. I mean, what else we need? Block 5 failed. Like let's get it out of the way. The pain has been going.
Get them all out. Like you said, get all the players, all the bad actors out right now, and just sit around and wait. Let them do what they got to do. Get some money, some dry powder ready, and DCA. I mean, if we go down half from where we're at now, people were crying about 1 cent HEX. We may be going there, man. It's at 2.
Tears of joy.
We're going down, guys. So hey, be careful what you wish for, man. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
I'm unreasonably okay with 1 cent HEX, just because my mindset isn't bad. My mindset is, whoa, I never thought I could buy it at that cost again. It's amazing.
That's it, man. And it's about like it may be there for a few months, but when it goes up, it may not come back down, and then the opportunity's gone. So just be happy with what you have while you have it, and just fight for what you want. That's it.
Yeah. I'm certainly glad we have a billionaire founder who is totally not aligned in any way to rug pull. I mean, that's you see think about all the other, speaking to broadly here, just think of all the other crypto projects and their founders and their profiles and what they're done, and Vitalik selling ETH. Vitalik sold ETH again recently.
Yeah,
you don't see that type of stuff coming out of Richard. It's not happening. Like, he doesn't need to sell. He has no purpose for selling.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And no one's talking about that part. Like, they're not talking about the Mashinskis and the Celsius and the Luna. They're not talking about, and that's recent. There are multiple exchanges and multiple coins that came before this. And it's just like the conversation is there for a moment, it dies, and everyone forgets like they didn't talk about it. They wasn't in it. Like, no, man, it happened. Like, you got to bring it up every now and again to remind people what not to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why they need to be still talked about. It's just to understand what those things were and how not to fall after another replication of the same thing. That's it. And that's how we learn from the mistakes to build a greater community that's going in the right direction. That's a big part. Yeah.
We need more memes too. I haven't seen enough Richard on a throne, and then you got Machinsky and you got Do Kwon, and everyone's just like they're like laying over, something's
Yeah.
wrong with them. They lost all their money, the broke pleb type of look. Like we
Yeah,
don't have enough
exactly.
Richard domination memes. I feel like
There we go. Yeah,
we
they're
need more
coming.
of those. Yeah.
They're coming. I'm sure they're coming, man. Someone's working on it right now.
Yeah.
Hey, HEXMac, holla at me, man.
Yes. Yes. There's
Oh my
there's
God.
hex t.me/ hex memes, I believe, too. And so if anyone from Hex Memes is listening, feel free
Yes.
to we need more throne and crushing haters / broke plebs memes.
There we go. There we go, man.
Another one from UFO. Did you tip your friends and family about Hex before it ripped in price? What is the ones? Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you too. How do you, just in general, like when you talk to people about Hex, let's say today you've onboarded people that have been 6 months ago. We've all done that. Did people talk to you? Okay, what's everything okay? Like especially if they got in a higher price. Like I'll tell you, there's people, my friends and family, to even talk to me sometimes or send me a message. Hey, you think it's a good time to get out? Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, oh please.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't. This is not the first rodeo. Like I struggle sometimes to explain to people that this is not the time you sell. This is not the time you sell. So yeah, maybe what are some of the things you've had to deal with or since price go up and down?
Yeah, so I have gotten people in, I guess, when the price was up around 10 cents, 15 cents before it went up. And I told a lot of people, like, the conversation I have with individuals is just like, again, educating them about not just crypto, but finance. I'm saying if you want to invest in something, the word invest is not short term. To me, that's not what it means. It means a certain amount of time. And I try to correlate it with the 401k. Because with my job, I had a 401k. A lot of people who work, they have 401k options.
Yeah.
I said, so when you save for 401k, do you save for 1 year, 5 years, or 30 years? If you're lucky to work at a job for 30 years, you know what I'm saying? And most people say long term. So I'm trying to correlate that with crypto. I said, listen, you can get into crypto now. I think of it as a 401k package, okay? You want to put a certain amount of money in every week, every bi-week, every month into something that you believe in. And over the course of, I'll say a minimum, I'll say 5 years. But I usually go with 10 because the market is only 13 years old. So I said, let's say 10 years. That's about as much time as Bitcoin had to go from a penny to 20,000 about. Give it about 10 years. And if you invest and you invest and you invest, when the market goes up and it comes back down to where, you started investing in before, keep investing if you believe in it. Because in the next cycle, when it goes back up, you can understand how the dollar cost average out. You'll be associated with the feeling of seeing it go up and associated with the feeling of it coming down. But when you have a 401k, the same thing happens with that. You just don't monitor it as often. And the volatility isn't as high. So
you're locked in. Yeah, exactly. You get penalized if you try to take it out early, right?
There you go. Yeah. And so it's a slow growth regardless, whether it's a year to 10 years or 30 years. It's slow growth. It doesn't go straight up. There are downturns. So just like the stock market's doing now, we're going down a little. People have been waiting for this downturn in the market for the last 3 years. People were talking about we're waiting for the crash. So it's finally here. It's happening. It's being amplified by the virus. It's been amplified by other stock markets around the world, currencies being inflated. It's a lot of things that's happening at this moment. So we have to take those into consideration and understand that markets don't go all the way down to zero, or if the economy goes down to zero, and then we have a whole nother issue. That's which, we're not going to get into, but it's the same idea.
Imaginary horribles.
Hey, there you go. Yeah. So it's the same idea. If you stay in it, I think for at least 5 to 10 years, you'll be okay. But I've had family members come to me and, the market went up. They said, I took my money out, the principal out, and they're chilling with the rest. And they're like, I'm happy I got out my principal, because we're down these numbers now. I'm like, hey, if you like it, if you still like it, you can still invest in it and get back in. But, some people feel like they escape by the hair of their teeth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I tried it. It looked like it's not working now. But again, we're in a downturn. It's only been one full cycle I've been in to show people. So the next bull run will be the second one. And then, again, time will tell. So we'll see at the end of the day,
Yeah, it's I think that's the hardest mentality too. Because so why does it come up, right? Because they're treating it like a lottery ticket, like they don't believe it's that retirement instrument, or they just, and so they're easily shaken out or whatever. So
Yeah.
I think that's one of the hardest things too, is get people to think of it as passive income and investment, something you hold for 5, 10, 15 years. Not this, hey, I can make some money real quick. Oh, the market's going down. I escaped. Yeah, you also escaped from all the gains you could have got, all the compounding you could have got over time too. So
There you go.
it's just that mindset.
And it's also hard too, because a lot of people, when you tell them, you can make life-changing money with this, this product, this space, it's hard for people to actually plan for that, because it's to a degree, you're planning for retirement to a degree. And a majority of people don't even know what they want to do when they retire. So that's a whole nother dynamic. Some people, they may make a lot of money, but they may not know what to do with it once they have it. So it's levels to understanding wealth creation and wealth growth. Because if you don't have these concepts in hand, you're gonna just squander the money and then be right back at square one. So you have to have some plans in place, some things in place. And I think this community actually gives a lot of information and insight on things that we have people that are in finance that give us opportunities and things that we can divest out of crypto into these other assets. And I think they give us the opportunity kind of to understand what to do with the money. Because me personally, I'm just learning about finance, learning about investing and things of that nature to this level anyway. And there's a lot of things that I don't know. But some of the things I don't know, a person whose parents are bankers or senators or politicians, they're kind of more familiar to those things than I am. There's nothing against them. It's just that we all have our journey. We all have our lessons we have to learn and how we have to move within these markets in order to be prosperous. And a lot of us don't have that. So we all have to learn together to a degree and have people that are not trying to shade us, you know what I'm saying? Not trying to steal from us, just trying to gain, attribute to the collective of what we're trying to do here in crypto, which is trying to get people out of these debts and things of that nature and grow and build and do something else with their life instead of giving it, trying to build someone else's dream up,
Save yourself at hex.com. It's
there you go.
my rallying cry.
Buy.hex.com.
Yes.
That's it.
Got another question here from Vets. Corey, please elaborate, share with us your charity organization and future ambitions.
Okay, well, charity organization. Well, I do contribute to a charity organization. See where I'm at now in Jamaica. There's a foundation called the Rock House Foundation, and they have a like boutique hotel in the Grill, Jamaica. But their foundation actually collects funds to build schools for disabled children and children who don't have as much, in the Grill area, Westmoreland in the Grill. In Jamaica, should I say?
Oh, yeah.
And they built a school from, I guess, grade school to 12th grade, where it's going to be an all-in-one space. They have about, I think, 5 classrooms there now, and they're still building. We just had a fundraiser in October, and did very well. I think we raised, it was over $1 million, I think, for the event.
Wow.
And
awesome.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that invested there and contributed, donated. And that's my one foundation that I do, donate to every once a year. And I try to go to Jamaica every year to go see the people. Got a lot of friends and family out there, friends that feel like family, should I say, and that are associated with the association and foundation. And those are some of the things I look forward to. And future ambitions is trying to create an organization of my own at some point. Don't know exactly what it's going to be, but I definitely want to help young people in some capacity. Maybe towards understanding finance or something to that degree, because I think, there's some things we need to know, maybe understanding debt and finance, how to use it properly and things of that nature. Because like I said, I'm learning a lot of stuff right now that I know is basically grade school stuff that you can teach kids now that they'll be able to benefit from later. And it's just a way of putting it together and creating a curriculum for them to learn. So that's some of the things I want to look forward to coming up in the future.
Dude, that's great. I think everyone in the community who's working on some kind of, charitable works or foundation or way to help, the next generation, have a better head start and get there, especially the financial head start. I know growing up, there was no finance classes. Nobody taught you about money where I went to school.
Exactly.
So I don't think I'm alone in that. Yeah, it's crazy. But I love it. I love just being able to help people and put together. So I hope that's what a lot of, rich Hexicans do in the next few years. They're able to take their crypto and turn it into some sort of foundation, some sort of way to keep, just be a force for good in the world, just like Richard talks about. Whatever you're interested in, be able to help people and spread good ideals and spread financial literacy and stuff like that. So that's awesome.
Definitely, man.
I've never been to Jamaica, but Westmoreland, I've heard of it, and I've had friends that have vacationed down there, but I've never visited. I have to go out there. I have to go to Atlantic, so some more. Yeah.
Let me know, man. Let me know. We'll probably go out there, man. Yeah. I'm going out there next year, definitely. I got a trip set up. Don't know when, but I'm definitely going out there, man. So
nice. Yeah. Is there a good time of the year to go? Like weather is best at a certain time or anything?
All year round is good, man. Okay. They have a rainy season, which is now, I guess, from October to like January. But outside of that, it's pretty nice. It's 80 plus every day. Great water, great beaches. Oh man, friendly people. Yeah, can't go wrong there in Jamaica.
I'll take it. I mean, I'm a little overexposed right now. I'm not actually this white, but I could use a tan anytime.
I got you.
Let's see, let me block out the light a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
There you go. All good, man. All good.
got a Jamaica question here. What are the crypto tax laws like in Jamaica? Yeah, you know anything about that?
Oh, that I'm not sure of. I know they have introduced a CBDC out there that seems to be helping the Jamaican currency stay pegged with the U.S. dollar. It was actually losing its value over the last couple of years, and over the last 5, it's actually been stabilizing. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it's a testing ground to see what the CBDC is gonna do. But if it helps stop corruption, hey man, shout out to him. I just don't want it to stop me from using my dollars any way I want to use them. Once it comes out. But again, time will tell. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, the censorship part is very tempting for governments on the CBDCs. I guess there are some pros to them overall. The libertarian in me doesn't want to admit any of that, but I think for corruption wise, I can see that.
That's the bonus. Listen, if there's a way that we can go in and out of CBDCs with cryptocurrencies that are out now, and I mean we have control over it. I mean, okay, I like that narrative. But if that's not the case, if there's no association with it, and they're on 2 different platforms, and I don't know how that's gonna work. But again, someone's gonna figure something out. They're gonna bring something to the table, and people are gonna try to work with it, and make it popularized, and hopefully we move to the next level. But I think it's like a bunch of Legos. Like we're just trying to find which Lego is the next one to create the next step, so we can move up from what we know what is actual, and then start building for the next actual thing we need. So
it is Legos indeed. That's a great analogy for crypto, and just the bigger building blocks that are happening on the political landscape too. Hopefully, don't cripple innovation, especially in the U.S. where a lot of us try to make our money.
And again, man, a lot of us are worried about the laws that are being set here in America, not knowing America is one out of 168 countries. I mean, there are other countries out there that are doing different things. So it's about if the things don't work right here, I mean, we can always travel. The planes still work. We can travel. We may not be able to stay there all the time, but maybe we would get a visa or a new passport or something just to, get out of here for a little bit until they get things right.
Yeah, that's especially. I did an interview with a tax guy from the UK, and one of the things we covered was all the places as a UK citizen you could go to where you didn't, if you stay there for like 3 years or something, not tax advice, not financial advice, that.
Yeah.
But what I recall was something around you could go there for a few years and not have to pay UK tax. But there was like a huge list of places that would do it. Not just in the US, it's like Puerto Rico. There's a few other ones. Maybe you got to do special things, but in the UK, it's like a whole
a litany here,
a bigger list. It seems like.
Gotcha.
Another question here from AB. Hey, what do you think about the DEX new routers where there's no contract selling if the tax is applied to some token? I haven't heard of so I know what DEX routers are. The new ones where there's no contract selling if there's a tax applied to some token. And there are some tokens that do that, which are some of them are scams. I'm not saying that particular model is, but like there are some non-sellable tokens. Yeah. I don't know. You know anything about this?
I have no idea. When you introduce new ideas and new things that are happening, I like to watch what happens first. I like to give them some leeway, give them a little leash to see what's going on and see how far they go. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like I said, I don't know either. I'm learning. We're all learning at the same time. So it's about just seeing what stands out and what sounds like it's sound, making sure it has some audits, and see maybe if you can find out who the developers are behind the decentralized exchanges or whatever. But until we see it in action, it's kind of hard to judge and talk about those things.
Yeah, AB, drop a reference if you have any link or anything in the chat too, and I'll see if we can. I'll share it and see if we can take a look at it too. But I don't. Yeah, off the top of our heads, I just know I wrote this whole blog on malicious smart contracts and how there are some tokens that are unsellable and all that stuff, which came to mind. I'm not saying it's this particular type of DEX or product, but contract selling. There's no text about it. I would like to read about it. I really would. So yeah, drop a reference in the chat, and I'll try to take a look. One more question, and we'll probably wrap it up here. Crypto Chrissy. By the way, shout out to Crypto Chrissy because he had the best answer to my thread the other day, and I put that on the live stream yesterday. He had a very good way of doing HEX and a very healthy long-term mindset. Fantastic answer. And you can look at the Are You Doing HEX Wrong live stream if anyone's interested. Go look at that. Gotcha. I put the tweet in it. I talked about it. Number one answer to my question. Anyways, what are your views on new PulseChain projects? Anything that really interests you? Yeah. What do you got, Corey?
PulseChain projects. Well, the PulseChain projects, again, the same thing is I'm listening to what's going out there, what's trying to go on the platform. So I'm just waiting for PulseChain to drop one, and then see how these things roll out. Because again, I'm talking about these cryptos that are basically like they're projects that are being worked on, and not fully released products. So yeah. I'm just waiting to see what happens first, you know what I'm saying, and then I'll start judging from that point. I'm interested in a lot of them. They're building on PulseChain, so I'm definitely interested in the products. But as far as what they bring to PulseChain and what their niche is, that's all to be determined by the community and what they do as well. So I'm just looking out for those things and looking at those things when they come out.
Yeah, it is hard to judge them before we have a mainnet to try them out on. See if there's any bugs. I mean, these are some of them do some pretty complicated things. So I wouldn't be surprised out of the 125 next year that we see on the platform, if something we don't see. Oh, there's an oversight on that one right there.
There you go. Exactly. I don't want to get caught up in that.
Yeah. Hey, it's better. Yeah. What do you? It's one thing Richard has taught me so much too that I apply in life so much that I see you're applying as well. Is what do you benefit from, going out and promoting one product or another that you don't know much about, right? How do you benefit? How does he benefit telling you about his finances? How does he benefit? All these things. I love the way he puts it, and it's so meaningful.
Yeah, because that's the truth. Until I find a way to benefit from it, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? We're wasting air. I get it. I get it when a lot of people, they talk about, PulseChain dynamics and what's going to happen when PulseChain drops and what do I think or what do you think? And it's no one knows. It's all good conversation. But when it drops, all of that is moot because the reality is going to set in. And we're going to have to talk about the reality of PulseChain and PulseX and what they actually did. That's going to be the real conversation. This is just filler, basically, which nothing wrong with it. People like to have,
it's a bear market, man. We need some filler.
There you go. You need filler, man. People need something to talk about and then go back and forth with. But man, listen, right now, I'm just sitting back, just trying to live my life, enjoy it. I did this. I did what I did, investing in the crypto to enjoy my life and sit back and relax, enjoy my family and the things I like. And that's kind of what I'm focused on. And when the markets come back up, I like talking to people and educating them if it's something I know something about the market and the things that I'm in. But until then, it's just a matter of just sitting and waiting. That's what we do.
Well, I'll say that things that the places where I think will have a lot of people will be using the types of products, especially like the loans products. I'll say liquid loans because I really hope that one doesn't fail. I really think a lot of people are going to want to use that for loans and maybe there's tax benefits and things like that. And the different leverage platforms, all the haters who want to short HEX, here you go, go short it. Now, hopefully we'll have some products around that.
Yeah. And that's I like that idea, like the liquid loan idea. Again, that's something that we have in the mainstream where you have people that want to take loans out that has a real world market fit. I would definitely like to see how that works, because I would definitely like to participate in something like that, because it works in the real world. Again, just like CDs, they work in the real world. If they can work autonomously online through a code, yeah, I would like to participate in that too, man. Put me down.
Yeah.
Just make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Don't create something that's far off. It sounds like a fantasy, something we never heard of. No, it has to correlate with something that's going on now, and then just be done autonomously. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? If we can sell real estate through these codes, these contracts, let's set that up. When we get that, that's going to be a whole new world. You know, and if you provide liquidity for the funds that are being transferred from contract to contract, let's do that. You know, we might not have control, but we definitely know where these things are. They'll definitely be fast tracked. There will be a lot of people out of work due to these contracts, so there's going to be a fight there. But that's with everything, you know, that there's a change over to you.
Like,
you know?
Literally, they may be unemployed because of the Fed, and they'll be working on either the Fed or the project may fail. Yes, one way or another. You may be unemployed next year. Yeah.
There you go, man. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be no shortage of meme coins, no shortage of NFT marketplaces. I mean, just naming some of the highlights I can think of off the PulseChain products. There's so many.
Yeah. And again, we have the community. We have the community, man.
See, Pac-Man says let Pulse come out. All this, yeah. Do you think we'll wrap it up on this one?
Gotcha.
This is something that apparently has came up recently. But like the SEC stuff, do you think Richard even sees any of this stuff? Like, I'm kind of, part of me thinks he does take feedback in certain ways. He sees it, but maybe he's not public about it. The other part of me is like, no, he's like he's in his own deal, and he's like, no matter what, I can't be distracted. I have a plan. I have a whiteboard, has all these different scenarios. This happens, I'll do this. That happens, I'll do that. I've got everything mapped out. I'm going to stick to that. I don't need to hear any noise. How do you think him being in the driver's seat? Do you think any of this affects him or decisions he makes?
No, I think he sees some of it. I think he sees it, but I think with what he knows, I don't think there's really an issue with it. Again, SEC, from my understanding of what I'm hearing, is that they're questioning about HEX and PulseChain and things of that nature to see what it is and if anyone's been harmed by it. From my understanding, I'm not 100% sure. But if that is the case, I mean, we all know that, I mean, like any market, you know, there's no guarantee that you'll make anything. And he doesn't guarantee that as well. So it's just about what they want to figure out about the project, try to understand it. And again, at some point in time, we're supposed to be getting these Hinman documents with the XRP case to understand why Ethereum and Bitcoin are not securities. And so once I think we get some of that information in, it'll be a lot easier to pick what crypto is and what it isn't. And that'll help us out with our journey as well with HEX. So
it's going to be a beautiful journey. It's been magnificent so far. I can't believe I've come across a community and a coin and a founder and just had all the adventures and just you know, I was passive for I've been following Richard since 2017, but I've just been, you know, in the shadows, watching, listening for the last few years. Man. And this year I was like, you know, Richard keeps saying you should have utility. I don't think I have enough utility. I want to give back. Like, this community has given me so much. I need to come out and start, you know, Twitter first, and then I go to a meetup and they're like, oh, are you a streamer? I'm like, no, I don't think I want to be a streamer. And then like a week later, I got YouTube now. And then
there you go.
All that stuff. So much to be thankful for.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Look, it drives you to create. It drives you to do something. And you never know, something along those lines may help open up the space to you for where that can be one of your gigs. You know what I'm saying? That can be one of the things you contribute to. There's nothing wrong with that, man. You know, as long as you enjoy it, you know, and you have something to talk about, it's something to contribute. Nothing wrong with that.
For sure. And in all different ways. I mean, people have, you know, music, we have streaming, we have content creation, all the different verticals, you know, Twitter Spaces. I have a blog that I do a lot of my long form content on my blog about security stuff a lot of times too. So I guess that's the ending notion too, is just if you're out there, you know, in the chat and you don't feel like you're doing enough, you don't feel like you're giving back enough, there's all kinds of ways to do that. And just figure out your niche, figure out where you want to be at. If you want to do telegrams, or if you want to do blogs, you want to start being a streamer. I did a stream with Fashion Coder on how to be a crypto streamer. Check that video out. I'll just plug that real quick because that's recent content.
I saw that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. And whatever you want to do, if there's something you don't know how to do and you think I know something about it, tell me, and I may make a video. I may do a stream. Tell me. Yeah, that's a good thing. I'll put that out there. Anyone who wants to know about something that either I know about or you know somebody who does, tag me on Twitter and tag them, and we'll get in touch, and then I'll try to make it happen. Because all these times I'm just making topics up sometimes, or I'm just, whoever I come across, or I'm like, oh, I want to talk to this person, that person. I want to talk to you, of course, because of the music and just your place in the community and all that stuff. So anyone has any ideas for streams? Not that I'm running short of ideas. I have like 4 times a week. But if you do, tag us on Twitter. Help me make more connections, and we'll get people on here that you want to listen to. And Corey, you did not disappoint this episode. I think people really enjoyed it.
Max. Thank you, man. I appreciate you very much. I appreciate your stream. Real quick, I just wanted to update and give some people some places where they can find me. Of course,
yes, please do that.
On Twitter, I'm at WizKid77. That's WIZKIDD77. I'm also on Instagram at Corey_AN_investor. And on my OpenSea, if you're on there, you can find the music tracks that I put out under Hexakin Music on OpenSea. And you can find, I have 3 NFTs up there. Last one I just created with another content creator, Sprove. Shout out to him for getting on there. And another guy, Slim Zell, he's on another song that I put up there on Diamond Hands. And yes, I appreciate you guys very much. I appreciate you, Max, for bringing me on your program. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you again, man. I appreciate it.
Of course. It's good to see. I was going to say good to meet you. Good to see you again.
Yes,
funny enough, I met you in real life and then video. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, right. That's all good.
It's been a pleasure. Have fun in the HEX meetup San Diego. I'm sure there'll be plenty of pics and videos and stuff.
Yes,
and we're doing a shindig up in the Seattle area too, so it'll be fun. But yeah, you got Vets. You stole Vets from us on this meetup, so take care of him, and you guys have fun.
Yes, sir.
And without further ado, we are out, everyone. Take it easy and have a good rest of your week.
Yes, sir.